Got a thick, soupy fog today. Hasn't been this foggy for a long time. I think this warrants a little extra care. Near to the heart of God. It's not foggy in the cab. I don't know why it's all foggy out there. It's fine in here. There is a place of quiet rest near to the heart of God. One day I will go there and stay forever. Kind of looking forward to that. I think there's cars out there on the freeway, but it's hard to say for sure. Pretty foggy. After only 7.5 years or so of working for Paul, my boss, he offered to get me a cup of coffee at McDonald's today. It's because they're free, but he offered. That's the thing. Yeah. Columbia River. No big deal. It's just a giant flow of water that God created thousands of years ago, and it's been here ever since, moving water and dirt and reshaping islands and allowing fishermen to fish and sell and eat, and barges to move back and forth for commerce and all sorts of pelican and seagull activity that I know nothing about. Once you start trying to imagine God, your brain just kind of opens up into an abyss, and you realize that you're never going to get clear done with that. But still, it ends up being a very worthwhile activity. It sort of focuses your mind on a truth that somehow, for some reason, is otherwise rather easy to disregard.
It's one of the great traps of our day. We have more television programs, more videotapes, more cassette tapes, more books on Christianity, all of which are wonderful and great, and I hope you can buy every one of them and pack your house with them. But in the end, they are no substitute for my daily relationship with Jesus Christ, where I walk with Him, and I talk with Him, and I know Him. I heard the other day the way the North American Indians used to trap ducks. All of you duck hunters are going to love this. Watch the guys scurry for pens to take notes. You know what they used to do? They'd see these ducks and they'd fly into the pond, and these ducks would fly into the pond and they'd fluff down in the water, and these Indians upstream would take a whole bunch of pumpkins and they'd put them in the water, and the pumpkins would drift down the stream until they came to the ducks, and when the ducks saw them, they flew off because they were scared and they were afraid. And then they would go ahead and fly off, and then a little bit they'd come back and they'd land in the pond. And when they landed in the pond, then all of a sudden the Indians would go ahead and let a whole bunch more pumpkins go, and they'd release them down the river, and they'd come floating down the river, and they'd get to the ducks, and the ducks would fly off because they were afraid. They thought for sure that they would do them harm. They'd fly off, and then they'd fly back, and this would go on 3 or 4 times, until after 4 or 5 times, the ducks would see the pumpkins coming, and they would know, these pumpkins aren't going to hurt me. These pumpkins aren't going to bother me. They aren't going to devastate me, and so they'd stay. Now the Indians have got them. Then they would take pumpkins, and they would hollow out the pumpkin and put it over their head. And they'd float down the river and start picking ducks, just like this. You know, just one after another. You know, yank a duck, and everybody has one duck after another. And of course, you know, you laugh, and I laugh too. You know, and we all laugh. But the incredible, painful, disastrous difficulty and problems that I face when I become too familiar with life, it doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. The things that once really bothered me don't bother me at all. And the things that used to trouble me deeply, now they don't trouble me at all. It isn't that bad. It's that slow erosion of those principles and those convictions and those values that I used to hold so dear, and now I've become so anesthetized to them that somehow they really don't make a difference. They do.
There's a DMV right here. I didn't know that. Look at that. need a DMV though, I need a DEQ. I got the papers in the mail the other day that I need a DEQ for my truck. Time before the end of January. That'll be pretty exciting. You know? I think that little girl back there enjoyed having her picture taken. She thought that was kind of fun. She was posing and carrying on. She probably had no idea I was an old white Christian, you know. That probably ruined her day when I drove past taking pictures of my own face when she was right there. She'd be bad-mouthing men for the next 5 years. Or 65, whatever comes first. Or last. I'm not going to go into this McDonald's there. They're kind of boarded up. You know, I guess they are open for business, but they did also have a backhoe there in the drive-thru. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Whee! Here is the grotto up here. See the grotto? Visitors are welcome. It's a place of solitude, peace, and prayer. That's a good idea. Near to the heart of God. Now here's a big grassy field. It's a little foggy on the field, but just be glad you don't have to mow it today. Remember them little push mowers that didn't have a motor on them? That'd be a bad investment if you had that much grass, wouldn't it? There's always something to be grateful for. I'm grateful that I don't have that much grass and a push mower. Yeah, the Lord knows it's all I can handle to come over here and monkey around with these cotton picking printers like I do. According to the GPS, I have arrived at my destination. Some mighty big potted plants over there. I'm not sure I would have done that way. It's a great experience just going through the world and seeing how much smarter people are than you and what they come up with. Put your tree in a pot in case you want to move it. Of course, you'll have to go buy a forklift or some kind of tractor to pick it up with. I expect it'd be cheaper just to chop the tree down and plant another one if you was going to have to move it anyway. But what do I know? These people are smart. Look at that. Potted trees. I eat meat whenever I want to. It's not really that good, but I don't see any point in arguing with people about it. I've got enough to do just eating what's put before me today. And, you know, spending the time that I need to appreciate the intelligence of others who pot their trees and whatnot. It's a big world. Takes a lot of people with a lot of different perspectives to make a world this big. Here's the cold hard truth of the matter. Vloggers are just stupid. You walk around pointing a camera at your face, trying to think up stuff to say. Maybe putting something interesting in the background, like what? There's nothing here but fog and a school. Oh, I'm here at the truck now. I gotta put this up. I gotta go in here and find, oh, there it is. Good, it's on the top. Usually it's on the bottom. Okay. Let's just take this out of here. That's enough. Come on, let's go in. We got work to do. We can't be vlogging out here in the parking lot all day. It's a little foggy on the old bridge over the Columbia River today. This weather report brought to you by absolutely nothing. Accuracy is guaranteed within a gazillion other possibilities that might happen just as likely. I think that person likes bumper stickers. What do you think? I think that guy's in a bigger hurry than me. Just for the sake of the record, I'm doing the speed limit. He's doing something else. There's some water down there. That's not unexpected. There is a big river right here in this area. Yeah, look at that. Okay, that's enough. Okay, now go get a light. Here comes IKEA. I never go there. I barely make it over to the grocery store a couple times a month. You know that I have food and spices especially in my house that are like 15 years old that nobody's ever ate. It's just interesting. I was going through the pantry closet the other day looking for expired cans and stuff. Found a few. Tried to sell them to my roommate, but he wasn't having it. Smarter than I am. I should have required a maximum IQ on the rental application form. Would have worked out better for me, but I didn't think of it. Well, with not being particularly bright myself and all.